So let's talk about the number 3. And this is the beginning of like the framework that I put together. There's 3 parts of my framework that allowed me not just to leave Costco, but to move forward and make a career out of what I do now. Because I've been doing this for a decade now. I get to travel to places like I got to take my wife, and this was a big deal. I got asked to speak by Chris. Do you guys know who Chris Ducker is, any of you? He's author of Virtual Freedom, runs a very successful business in the Philippines. He's now in the UK. And I got to take my wife to the Philippines. They covered my hotel, all that stuff. We had 3 weeks in the Philippines without our kids. For 3 weeks, we saw so much of the Philippines. And all the good parts, not the parts down south where no one wants to go right now, like all the good parts. It was an amazing time. So this is how I've gone from where I was at Costco, happy then not happy, and then happy to leave, to where I am now. It took really 3 phases. And if you want to move forward, if you want to be inspired, if you want to move forward, this is a big thing you do. If you want to go to an event like World Domination Summit and actually come out of it, because how many of you have gone to conferences before where you've seen the people, and we all know them, where you go to a conference year after year, and I've been there 7 years since its first one, and I see the same people every year. It's like, oh man, I'm so happy to be back. I'm like, what have you done since then? I'm just so happy to be back. Like they haven't done anything. It's a panacea, right? Like that's what that is for them, right? And there are people that I know that live here that's happened for. They go because it's comfort, it's stability. It's hard to you have to be able to move out. The first World Domination Summit, I met Brene Brown. I got to hang out with her on the steps of the Portland. Do you think I could hang out with Brene Brown now? No, not unless I go to Oprah's house. And I am not getting an invite to Oprah's house anytime soon. Yet.
Next year.
Yet. But it's funny, my son actually, I think Ann said something, my wife off the cuff, like, your dad's kind of famous on the internet, like a little bit famous, and now that's all he's saying. It's like, are you really, like, how much more famous are you than this person? And he's putting like movie stars, like Ryan Reynolds. Like, are you more famous than the guy who's Deadpool? Like, yeah. In a certain circle, no, I'm not. But anyway, three things that I do. Number 1 is something that we all do right now in some way, shape, or form, either up here or on Facebook for the whole world. You got to keep a journal. You got to chronicle the journey. You got to get these things out of your head that are there, like the successes of the day. Chris, when you started Soho, do you remember the day you started it? Do you remember the day you had the idea to start Soho?
Yep.
What day was it?
I don't remember the exact day, but it was August. I was at a meeting with a networking group of mine. It was August 2 years ago.
How great would it be if you could look back to know the exact day, know the exact feeling, and the exact time when it happened?
That'd be pretty cool.
Be pretty cool, right? Who else has had something that's been? Who first off, who journals here? Who actually keeps a journal? Okay, see the look. I can tell. Look in your face. Look. So how long have you been keeping a journal for, Marilyn?
A long time. So, pardon the pun, but consistently, I would say for 8 years.
Okay, and
there was a pivotal point in my life why I started it.
right, there was a trigger, right? There was there were signals probably along the way, but a trigger said, I need to. How has it felt since then, journaling?
Really good, and I don't do this, but a very good friend of mine, New Year's Eve, takes their journal and reviews her year.
I read mine every New Year's Day.
And that's what she does.
Yeah. It's really, really critical. Because you can look at the calendar and see what happened. Oh, I was at that meeting, or Inspired Victoria. I went to Inspired. But to say I went to Inspired Victoria and I saw this goofy guy, who worked for Costco, left Costco. I thought Costco was a good company. I don't know why I would leave Costco. Like all these random thoughts, they're there. And you can look at them, and that brings, so you don't have to try to remember that stuff. The brain is a terrible, terrible place to store stuff. Your mind was meant to be a factory, not a warehouse. Your mind was meant to incite action, not to deal with the repercussions of the actions that you've had. It's not meant to store that stuff. I mean, if I filled this computer up with just tons of stuff, it would work very slowly if the hard drive was full. You want that. Your brain operates the same way. Who else has kept a journal? Okay, so how long? What's your name? Liza. How long have you kept a journal for? You can do this. Here, like everybody can do that.
On and off for 25 years.
25 years. Yeah. That deserves seriously. That deserves. So does anyone who's kept a journal deserves, but 25, like, and how does that, like, that's built in.
Mine started when I went traveling. I
Yeah.
did a solo year and I wanted to record moments and,
So
swimming
why'd
with
you keep it
sharks and
going?
swimming with dolphins.
But that's interesting. Why'd you keep it going? I don't mean to cut you off, but why did you keep it going? Because, I mean, most people do it. They're like, oh, I'm going to chrono, and Facebook does a great job of this now, right? Like, oh, I went here and now I'm done. But why'd you keep it going?
Well, I think when it's your own personal journal, you can put the good, the bad, and the ugly in there.
Yep. And you don't have to worry about anybody reading it
No.
or using it against you during a job interview or anything like that, right?
Unlike Facebook, where we all have this, pretense to put everything wonderful, or we do the other extreme, and oh my God, I'm dying, everybody needs to help me.
So yeah.
It's just more, you can just be more honest with yourself.
And what's fascinating too is that when people say, "Oh, if you're on Facebook, you're journaling for the world." Isn't it better, like, if you're going to journal for the world, at least journal for yourself. At least keep that up. So that's been a huge beneficial thing, because that led me to my way out. I was able to think clearly. I was able to mitigate the risk. I didn't just quit Costco. I went from making high 5 figures to low 5 figures. I had a plan. I was able to do that, right? And I was able to weather the storm. And journaling will help you celebrate all the successes you have and acknowledge all the failures along the way. And we know, like, the best hitters in baseball hit 300. They hit the ball 30% of the time, right? So journaling is one of the 3 tenets of my framework. And again, if you just start journaling tonight and you start doing it consistently, you're going to see the benefits. It's going to make you more productive, okay? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, don't apologize.
So what about a twist on that?
Sure.
Where I start Mondays with what my priorities for the week are,
Uh-huh.
and at the end of the week, then I do highlights and lowlights.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm way more focused on what I've actually done.
I think it's important to do both of those things. So I think it's important because I'll tell you why. The word priority did not have a pluralization until a company named IBM. I think it was IBM. No, it was IBM made up multitasking. There was it was during the Industrial Revolution where they said, oh, priority isn't enough. Because priority literally means the next thing. Priorities was not a pluralization. In the book, Greg McEwen, how many of you read Essentialism or know the book Essentialism? Yeah, he talks about this. The word priorities didn't exist until industrial organizations wanted people to have more than one thing to work on at any given time. So what I would do is I would still do that, say here what I want, and we'll get to the idea of theming, which is what I do to help move my every priority that I have forward for my week, for my month, for my day, whatever. But I think it's still important at the end of the day to acknowledge, because it's still fresh in your mind. Like today is Thursday for me. It's my training day. I'm training. I'm training myself. I'm learning what's working, what isn't. I'm training other people. When I get home tonight, I'm filming this. I'll probably take a quick snapshot of it and go, hey, I did okay. I had a really, really interesting question from Adrienne up front, and I don't know. I'll talk to her after and see what she thinks about it when we're having beer upstairs or whatever. You do drink beer, right? Or wine or something like that. Something like that. But the point is that I'm able to kind of, and then I can just move forward. I can let it go. And then the next day I have that. So I think, and you know what, journaling doesn't I did a slide for this at Tropical Think Tank. And my journal entry, I use a program called Day One on the Mac. There's also one on Android called Journey. But if you are using, how many of you have Evernote or have heard of Evernote? How many of you are using Evernote? Keep your hands up. Yeah. Everyone gets Evernote and they go, I don't know what, they get it, and they're like, I don't know what to use it for. Use it for journaling. Like, just use it, and then just, like, that's, because most people, I heard Evernote's great for productivity. It is if you know what to use it for. Most people don't know. So use it for a journal. I actually have a blog post on my site called How to Use Evernote as a Journal. If you Google how to use Evernote as a journal, productivities will be one of the top search. It'll be on the first page, if not number one. So that's what I suggest in that case. And we'll jump back to this in a second. But the second thing is like, it's important to go grocery shopping for your productivity. No, it's not. It is, but it isn't. Food is important. When you go grocery shopping, how many of you map out your grocery shopping when you go? You're like, you have a grocery list. When you go grocery shopping, you have a grocery list. You journal and you don't have a grocery list? Okay, so no, seriously, how many of you have a grocery list when you go grocery shopping? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you meal plan for the week? Raise your hand. Okay, so the list corresponds with the meal plan often, right? Would you go into a grocery store? Would you go to a grocery store and shop by the day of the week of your plan? Yeah, no, I'm gonna do an act out here. I did comedy for a while. Watch this. Here's how we do it. So on Monday, you're gonna have steak and garlic bread and mashed potatoes. So you go to the meat department, you grab the steak. And then you go to the bakery and you grab the garlic bread. And then you go to the produce department and you grab the potatoes. Then you go back to the front of the store. Tuesday, oh, we're having chicken, cauliflower, and dinner rolls. You're gonna go to the meat department, grab the chicken. You're gonna go to the produce department and grab the cauliflower. Would you grocery shop like, how many of you grocery shop like that? Raise your hands. You grocery shop? You don't, I know you, Mel. I don't even know, I think Graham does some grocery shopping, so don't go down there. Mel and I are good friends. So, you would never you look crazy. You'd be inefficient to grocery shop like that. Do you know that you work like that almost all the time? When you work by project, you work like that almost all the time. I'm gonna send that email, and I'm gonna make that phone call, then I'm gonna go to Microsoft Word and work on that thing, and then I'm gonna go over here and do this. That's what we do. When this slide represents the idea of working by category or working what I call by mode-based work. So when you start to group those things together, like going to the grocery store and grabbing all of the meat and all of the produce and all of the baked goods, you're being more efficient. So if you're gonna go and make phone call number 1, make all the phone calls that you need to make while you have the phone and move 3, 4, 5, 7 projects forward.
Yep.
Instead of going phone call. Because the problem is that you're moving forward incrementally on one project if you work by project. But if you work by mode, you're moving forward incrementally across multiple projects. It's actually the closest we get to multitasking. And the bonus, how many of you heard of the psychology of being in the state of flow or in the zone?
Yeah.
That's how you get in the zone. That's how you get in the state of flow. There's 5 categories of modes, which you can talk to me about later. I've come up with 5 categories of modes that you can use. And some of them you probably don't even think about. You know, you think about email, phone, but people are modes. There's lots of different ways we can talk about it. So that's another thing. I've been able to do that, and I had to do that when I worked at Costco because I couldn't manage both departments the same way. So I had to work this way. The final thing is, and this, what is this? What do you think this is? Aha! All right. And where do you find roller coasters?
Disneyland.
Well, like a broader theme parks. Theme parks. Theme. I could say amusement, but it's theme. I should have put some lines here. Like, yeah. Or I should have got Mark Johns to do the actual. I'm not an artist. I'll be the first one to admit it.
Will be.
We'll be the judge of that. No, I'm not going to let you. I'm going to own this and
I'm
go.
judging you.
I said hello first.
I'm judging.
When you theme, so the thing about theming, which is what I'm going to talk about a little bit now, is that theming gives you another way to categorize things. So I theme both by day of the week, by month. I theme my weeks from time to time. I give myself what's called an overarching focus. And this is where we get to the number 7. Really tiny number 7. The number 7, when you think about the number 7, how many days are in a week?
7.
How many letters are in the word inspire?
7.
11.
No, not 11. If you count the quotes, there's 9, but those aren't letters. So let's give each day a theme, okay? Let's give every single day a theme, and that's what I've done. And I'm going to go through this with you, and I want you to think about this as I talk about it. Now again, like I've talked about with my framework, if you can't do every day, that's fine. Pick a few, and chances are you're probably already doing this. How many of you have a day where you clean your house? Like you generally do housework? Yeah, what's that looks like? It's the whole day, it sucks. But what if you own that? Like what if you said, it's household day, or it's like, that's what it is. You're theming your day, that's really what you're doing, right? So let's talk about my themes. Now I start my work week on a Sunday, because Sunday is technically, if you look at a calendar, most calendars say Sunday is the first day of the week. So, Sunday for me is my planning day. It's the day where I do what you were talking about, Adrian. It's the day where I say, here's my plan for the week. My overarching focus for Sunday is planning. Now, if David calls me up and says, hey, do you want to go for a beer or a coffee? Or a beer and a coffee, in no particular order, or maybe a coffee beer.
Getting a lot of those phone calls next week.
Yeah. Well, I won't get phone calls. You'll do this. Hey, get up. Let's go for a beer. I can do that, but then when I come back after having that beer or that coffee, I can, instead of me going, what do I do now? My question is, what day is it? It's Sunday. Sunday is planning. Boom, what are all the planning things I need to do? Because your brain is ultimately trying to do the least amount of work possible as much as it can. That primitive part of your brain wants to watch Netflix and probably chill. But well, you could. It depends. There's plenty of Netflix shows that offer that, I would imagine. I think there's a couple documentaries. But anyway, no, the point is that if you give your brain something to focus on, that primitive part of your brain, and then you've got the prefrontal cortex, that more advanced part, your brain will go, so what do I do now? And that primitive part goes, I know, let's go on Facebook, or let's go check email and see what other people's things are, or let's watch Netflix. But your other part of your brain, the one that planned ahead, goes, no, hold on, Chris, it's Sunday, it's planning day. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, but, what kind of planning are we going to do? I don't know. Well, I know you're feeling really, really high energy right now. I can tell by the argument that you're having with me. So why don't we look at all the high energy planning tasks we can do that we put in our to-do list? And then you look at your list, you go, well, the mode high energy and planning, all right, there's 6 things to do. Great. So instead of having to try to choose 40 things on your to-do list, or look at that, how many of you look at your to-do list and go, yeah, that's it. It's the worst to-do list ever, right? When you put your to-do list for your laundry together, it's whites, darks, you've got them all separated. You're going to categorize it. That's all we're doing here. Sunday's my planning day. It doesn't have to be your day, but that's what mine is. Monday is my coaching day. Yeah, Monday is my coaching day. That means I focus on coaching. Doesn't mean I only do coaching on that day. I have coaching calls most of the week. But all my coaching work happens on Monday. It's my overarching focus. Tuesday is my admin day. All my admin tasks that I need to focus on get done on Tuesday. Now, if David says, hey, I've got something for you, and he sends it to me on Monday, and I classify it as an admin task and it's urgent, I'll do it. But then I go back and look at Monday, and as Monday happens, and go, okay, I did that task. It took me away from what's Monday's theme? Oh, Monday means coaching, go back to coaching stuff. Okay? Wednesday is my audio video day. So I do audio and video work. I record my podcast. If someone says, hey, Mike, we need you to record a podcast, you know what I say? What's next Wednesday look like? Or the Wednesday after that? Or I've now given myself these boundaries and I respect them. And that's what you also have to do. The only thing you have control over is your time. And own the hell out of it. Because if you don't own the hell out of it, somebody's going to rent it from you.
That's a really good thing to say.
Yeah. Thursday is my training day, as I mentioned. So I train myself, I train others, except my wife. I've been told that I cannot say that anymore. Friday is my deep work day. Friday is depth of work, like really. So guess what I don't do on Fridays? Have meetings. I don't go for that coffee. I don't go for that beer. And yeah, some people go, well, you're weird. Why would you not, why cut off Friday? Because I'm thinking long term. If David says, can we go for a beer on Friday? I'm like, no, sorry, it's deep work day. He goes, David understands. If somebody else says it, when the hell does that mean? Why would you care? Because I'm thinking long term. I'm classifying these boundaries. And if you don't respect your boundaries, nobody else will. Saturday is my family day. Guess what I'm going to see on Saturday?
Spider-Man.
A new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
You know what the best part about this is? My 6-year-old son, going to be 7 soon. He didn't say, when can we go see Spider-Man, Dad? He said, what Saturday can we go see Spider-Man? Can we go see Spider-Man on Saturday? He knew. He knew. And you know what he also knew? What the answer would be. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Of course he knew that, right? That it just creates, frameworks foster freedom. They totally do. And when you have yourself an overarching focus, you can take that magnifying glass instead of looking at your whole to-do list and you can go, oh, Thursday, that's what it means. And finally, the number 1. What do you really want to be doing? What's your desire? What's the thing that drives you? What is your ultimate intention? You saw me smiling earlier. My intention back then was to be a manager at Costco. That was my intention. I reached that intention. My intention now is to make these 3.
Aww.
Not have to worry about anything. To spend time. Derek Sivers at WS 2 years ago talked about this. He said there's 3 things that entrepreneurs start a business for. Fame, fortune, freedom. But one stands above all else. No, he said the 3 are freedom. Families, you're right, that's a 4th F. That's a new thing. I'll have to email Derek and tell him he forgot one. But mine is freedom. Freedom to spend time with these 3 people and see the smiles on their faces. And that was taken literally just today, hours before we came here. all at home. I get to see them whenever I want. Find your one thing, embrace it, run with it, dominate with it. Stop guessing. Start going. Because, well, we've all got these numbers of days that we have left. The days are numbered. And pretty soon, there won't be any left. Thank you.